What's up, party people? You know who else liked to party? The Buddha. Today, we're going to be modeling this guy, Spike Lad. Okay? So I'm pulling up Blender. I'm putting the drawing right here. Um, okay, we're just gonna duplicate this, make it smaller this way, move it this way, like make a ring cut or two. Hold on. We are so back. Make it smaller, make the ring cut bigger so it's a little bit more round, make it a little bit like that. Yes. Kind of move it so it's like but I think I need to make this whole part bigger so it's a little bit, I was gonna say concave, but I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know, man. I'm not a scientist. Okay, that looks pretty good. So apply all transforms. We're gonna add the mirror modifier, generate mirror. We're gonna duplicate these. We're gonna move it this way. We're gonna move this out. Make it smaller like so. That looks pretty good actually, but I'm going to make the whole thing smaller and then move it this way a bit. Yeah, that looks clean. I'll maybe make this a little bigger to fill that in a little bit more. Yeah, I like it. We're gonna make it red. And then these yellow. I'm doing the color first. See, I'm learning. Oops. We hit this button to make it its unique material. Make it metallic. Should we make it like super spiky? Yeah. So yeah, hold Alt to click on these and then Alt and Shift to click on that. A little too much. Yeah, that's a little too much. This super doesn't matter. Okay. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. When I say it doesn't matter, I don't mean it literally doesn't matter. If it matters to you that little details are right, that's cool. But also just keep in mind why you're making something and how much people are actually going to look at it. If you're making something to post anywhere, no one is really going to look at it for more than a few seconds. So, and that's not saying anything about anyone. That's just life. You got shit to do. Everybody else got shit to do. All right. Sorry for swearing. So just keep in mind that if you want to finish stuff, it's okay to leave some messy parts. All right, we're gonna take off the mirror on this one and then rotate it back to the front and then move it like that. And then we're gonna make it more round because this is gonna be the eye. Again, I'm reusing as many objects as possible. I've just copied the cube for literally everything in the scene so far. Move it forward like that, like so. Move it a bit forward again. Okay, and we're gonna make this, I guess, just... Oh my lord. Actually, this part should be shiny. Yeah, I think making it shiny is going to be better for this one. I was kind of trying to decide whether to make it like this or make it like sometimes how I do, where it's like, whoa. I don't think I actually want it to be metallic. I don't understand how light works. I don't remember what I was saying, straight up. Sorry. Okay, mirror. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I don't make stuff shiny and I just literally make the shine another object so that it's like super flat and more like you're kind of just placing the colors there. Okay. We're gonna apply this mirror because I want to make the bottom one different. Yeah, if you're super new to Blender, a really helpful thing is that leaving things not applied as much as possible is super helpful because it's easier on your computer. Whoa. I would separate those objects if I was doing literally anything with this. Yeah, with the top, we're going to make a ring cut, put it in the bottom. I don't know why it's like that. Yeah, that's more of the sizing I was thinking of, I think. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then this will be the same thing, except flipped for the bottom. A little shorter. That's cute. Maybe a little skinnier. And then we are going to... I have like kind of spheres drawn for the arms. But I may veto that. Actually, no, I should have spheres there. They'll just be silver, I guess. I don't know. Here to make it, copy this one, rotate it 90. Kind of make it more flat instead of being round. I need the origin to be on the geometry. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. We're just putting this somewhere for the sphere to like connect to a little bit. But maybe that's too much because, well, whatever. Yeah, I actually kind of like it. Okay, so here we're gonna do something actually a little complicated now. Oops. I'm putting in lights because I don't want to deal with it later, man. How we looking? Camera to view. I'm just changing the aspect ratio because it's pissing me off. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's change it to cycles. No, it doesn't really matter. All right, so I'm leaving the camera there. Yeah, okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna move all this up actually. And then we're gonna hide all that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a curve, okay? And then we're going to rotate it like this, rotate it like this. Noodle arm boy. For real. For realsies. It kind of pisses me off a little bit. I don't know why. This is kind of pissing me off. Sure. Let's ride with that. I don't want to worry about it too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. Actually, no, we're going to copy. Yeah, we're going to copy this. And then origin to geometry, we're going to make the bottom half a little bit like this, just to make it even. Move it over here. Okay, delete that. Oh, did I, oh no, the origin to geometry, it still had the top part. So, sorry. Let's move this over here. All right, so expand it a bit. Okay, sorry, I had to make a cut because I was getting pretty frustrated. Sometimes in this program, I feel like I learned something like 10 times and it doesn't stick. So if you feel that way, you're not alone. There's a lot of technical stuff. This is a very technical software, right? Okay, so it's a very technical software, and it's you're trying to do something really creative, and it's just two very opposing parts of your brain, right? So I'm not good at the technical stuff. I learn it because I have to, and I would much rather focus on the creative, right? That's who I am as a person. So anyway, I had to remember how to do this. So here's how you do it. I will tell you. This is super useful for, like, I can't even tell you. It's just I use this all the time. That's why I was so frustrated, is because it's like I do this all the time. So you make a curve and then you put it where the arm is. After you do that, right, you can move. Basically, the curve has to, the origin has to be at the beginning of the curve. That's what we're talking about, okay? But we're basically going to make this arm a bunch of these yellow sections, okay? So I'm just moving this, and if you wanted to, you could duplicate this curve and then drag these over so that you have that guide to go back on. I'm just going to make it as straight as possible and then apply everything on the curve, and then this needs to be straight up and down because it's all going to be relative to the curve after you connect it. So if I just take off everything off this yellow object, so you have the subdivision, you add the array modifier, okay, fixed count, everything's fine. I'm just going to make it a little bit less maybe, but we're going to have to adjust it when we add the curve. So the array modifier is on there, and then we're going to add the curve modifier. So the array modifier makes it so that there's multiple of whatever, and there's different ways that you can modify that, but we're going to do deform curve. We're adding another modifier, curve modifier. We're pointing at the curve, and then we are good to go. Okay, that's what I wanted. All right. Little poofy arm action. We're gonna change this to be silver. Yeah, okay. Seeing the vision. So if I rotate this, it'll be rotated like that. So that's why you want it straight up and down, is so that it follows the curve, basically. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So after you do this, you can just move both around. So we're gonna move it back up here. I'm gonna make it so I can see the curve. So I'm just gonna line it back up to right where it was. But honestly, that's probably not even super helpful because I'm just gonna want to align it to one of these guys. Cool. Yeah, I had to take a break and get brekkie. I was hungry. I was frustrated. I was pissed. All right. We're back. We're so back. This one's a struggle. All right. I try to keep it unedited so you really get an experience of what it's like to do this. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It was just taking too much time. Okay, so we're going to copy this. Actually, here's what we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to copy it. It's cool. You could just like apply everything and add a mirror modifier, but it's cool. So whenever I don't use mirror, I go with the grid. So it's kind of like almost to this square. So it's not almost to this square because that's too close, right? So I'm just going to drag it one more over, and that looks about right. It's almost to that square. Yeah, there's a lot more exact ways you could do that, but that's what we ballin' with. Okay, good, cool. So I'm gonna copy this shoulder section and then move it down here. Yes. We're gonna make this a little thicker just so that it stands out a bit more. And then put this like right there. Y'all rocking with me? Shout out Gargle TV. Okay, so we're putting it like that, right? I think that's chill. I'm going out there and I'm saying it. I think it's chill. So we're gonna do the same thing for the legs down here. So I'm gonna copy this, move it right here. Yeah, I really wanted to just be like straight out like that. The arms are a little close though, unfortunately. But that's not how the drawing is. Hold up. Let's maybe just drag these in. Yeah, and then move it like that. Cool. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to move it down like this. And now what's cool about this situation is I can just move the curve. Maybe not. Hello? Oh, there's, okay, sorry. I moved I left the old curve there as a guide. So that's the one I was moving on accident. So we're just going to delete that one. Bro. Okay. Yeah, so now, yeah, so sorry. So now we can move the curve because it's the real one it's connected to. That looks really satisfying. And you can animate this too with bones. You can use a hook modifier to connect this curve to an armature and you can move this point with a bone. So that's how you would like connect a pipe or something like that. If you wanted like a pipe connecting like an arm and a leg, you would just use hooks. You just use the hook modifier. All right, and I can make a video about that or something. I kind of want to go through and rig all of these that I've been making. Just to like further go into showing you the process of how this stuff is done. So we're going to rotate it like that, and then boom, pow, dunzo, kinda. Okay, so we're gonna scooch this forward a bit. Yeah. Maybe edit this a tiny bit. See, this is a good instance where this is like slightly not perfect, right? This part is a little bit higher, but it looks better to the eye. So we don't care about exact shit. Sorry for swearing. We care about how it looks to the eye. I'm just gonna make it bigger because it should be bigger, I feel like. If you want to know proportions, if any of you didn't go to art school, the arm should, your foot is the same size as your forearm. Which is crazy. So yeah, it should be like that big, kind of. Or actually, wait, forearm, so like that big. So yeah, it's pretty good. So this, I will just apply everything. Maybe not. So edge of the, yeah, that's good. I'm not even gonna adjust it. This I will mirror. No! Maybe that can be our test. Yeah, maybe just a hair. Just a hair in. Okay. A little more. All right, dude. Whoa, how did that get so messed up? Okay, I'm constantly moving around the camera. As you can see, I'm constantly just looking around, seeing what's up, right? Because that's the main problem, is that it's hard to just kind of like look around, and the more you move around the camera, the better. The more you get used to moving around and navigating, the better. Yeah, let's turn on those lights. Whoo! Our boy's looking clean. Our boy is fitted up, fresh with it, ready for literally anything. Yeah, that's good. I made the eye piece a little bit more metallic. And if you don't know what that does, making something metallic just means the shine will be the color of the object. If something is not metallic, the shine on it will be white. Yeah. So you can see if I change the color of this here to pink, the shine will be pink because it's metallic. That's what makes it look metallic. If I make it less metallic, the shine will be more white. it'll have like more of a sheen to it, and it's rough, so you can't see the shine. But yeah, so you can see there it's white. But yeah, so this is metallic, so it's got the same color shine as the material. And now that I'm looking at this, this actually should be maybe a bit different somehow. I'll take that. I think that's cool. I think that's aesthetic. I think this could easily, I don't know, I just think this is a cute fellow. The neck part looks a little bit weird. Wait, I'm going to move the camera back. So I have this angle here. Right, I'm gonna uncheck that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make the neck a bit. I'm gonna turn back on the guides and then do this. Okay, yeah, so this separate object now, we've come full circle. Ugh. Oh my God. Hello? All right. Geometry to origin. That's not what I wanted. Origin to geometry. That is way better. Okay, I definitely should have just left it before, but it's cool. We're back. Back to cycles. This is our finished product. I would just hit I would just go into render settings here. I would change the render denoise threshold to 0.5 as always. I always do that. The render, so sampling, render, noise threshold, 0.5. If I'm doing an animation, I would change this denoise to be optics. But since it's it doesn't really matter too much, but since it's an image, I'll just like leave it. The only other thing I was gonna do is in the render tab, film, and then transparent right here, you check that and it makes the background transparent. Render image. Boom, baby. There we go. We have our boy. Spike Lad. You were here for the creation. You were here for the beginning. I'm gonna save this image real quick. And since it's a 3D image, we have to do multiple renders. I'm gonna save as because it's easier than copying the camera or something. I just want to save that angle. Or actually, wait. So I have my lighting. So actually what I'm gonna do, since if I move the camera behind, the lighting is darker, I'm just gonna rotate the model. If you have stuff that's not applied, this is why I hit save as, because I have stuff that's not applied, and I don't want to fuck with it, right? Sorry for swearing. Yeah, so I'll render this. I'll maybe go through and do a couple angles and then just see which one works the best, you know? But it is cool that when you make this stuff, you really have like so much content that you can use for whatever, because you can move this guy around and then all of a sudden you have a new render that you can use, and it's super easy. 3D is a horrible medium in a lot of ways, but in a lot of other ways, it is so versatile with what you can do with it. Because if you're able to make something like this, like the possibilities are literally endless. Okay. And it's easy to make something like this. It's not that hard. You just like put cubes places. That's all you're doing. I really went on a ramble this one. thank you for watching. Sorry it was a weird one a little bit. I really like this guy. Please comment if you have any questions or advice. I need help. Have a great day.